Tennessee. The Volunteers ranked 7th in the country according to the initial college football playoff rankings. Some action in front of Tennessee impacting this game tonight. Mississippi State won the toss and elected to receive. So you've got Indiana winning, Miami losing, Georgia losing. Just 2 one-loss teams overall in the SEC, Texas and Tennessee. And the Vols have been living dangerously. 4 straight games they've trailed at halftime. They've lost 3 of those. Maybe tonight's the night they break out.
And college football is crazy. What a day of college football. And Nico Iamaleava coming off the best game he's had in a Tennessee uniform. 28 completions against Kentucky. Dylan Sampson has been fantastic. Sure feels like against this Mississippi State defense, a chance for Josh Heupel's office to get off and going. But first, it's this elite Tennessee defense take the field first.
And true freshman quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr., who started at Texas and started at Georgia already this year, dumps it off to Devon Booth, but he lost a yard on the play. So the true freshman Michael Van Buren took over for the injured Blake Shapen at Texas. He was a 4-star recruit from Baltimore. And we mentioned the start against the Longhorns. He threw for 3 touchdowns in the loss at Georgia. And he's got a lot of talent. And boy, he had a receiver down the seam. Traore, the tight end, was wide open, and Van Buren overshot him. Brings up 3rd and 11.
Boy, Traore's really coming alive as a pass-catching tight end. Just a misfire by Van Buren. And this crowd's going to come to life. This pass rush can be downright ferocious for Tennessee. How are they going to protect? You may have to chip these edge players. Good edge rushers on both sides. Can they help their offensive tackles that have struggled all year?
Van Buren in trouble, gets rid of it, incomplete. 3 and out for Mississippi State to start the game.
Tennessee defensive line, we're going to talk about it all night. They roll players in. They're as deep as any front in college football. How about this scene here at Neyland tonight, Dave Pasch? Final SEC game here in Knoxville, and they are fired up for this one.
Boo Carter is deep. Barmira to punt for Mississippi State. Tennessee came after it, and a bad punt sails out of bounds around midfield. Only a 24-yard punt by Barmira, and almost friendly fire as Justin Ball, another Bulldog, was awfully close to blocking his own punter. Been that kind of year for Mississippi State. Meanwhile, for Josh Heupel in the Vols, 7-1, 4-1 in conference play. They trailed at home to Florida, won that game. They've had 3 straight comeback wins, and a big reason why their star tailback Dylan Sampson. Tennessee record 19 rushing touchdowns on the year. He's had a rushing score in each of his first 8 games. Only Derrick Henry and Leonard Fournette prior to Sampson doing that this year. And with Tennessee taking over on the 45, Sampson gets the first touch, and he's into Mississippi State territory for a gain of 8. Sampson, a junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The SEC record, by the way, for rushing touchdowns is 28. That was Derrick Henry back in 2015 when he won the Heisman. And here's Sampson again, a first down inside the 40.
With good blocking here early from this Tennessee offensive line. Counter scheme on first down, gets him 8. A little inside zone, good push on the interior of that Tennessee offensive line. Dylan Sampson just so strong at the point of contact.
Nico off play action, taking a shot downfield, got a receiver, but he overthrew Brew McCoy. Iamaleava has misfired on some deep balls this year. It's a big reason why the offense has struggled in the first half of late.
He's really tried to put more air on the football. He puts a lot of air on this deep shot to Brew McCoy, but still unable to connect. Outshot his intended target. Last week he was better at passes down the field, 7 of 13, an area that he's really trying to improve upon for this offense.
10th career start for Nico, hands it off to Sampson. And he picks up about 3 on the play. 3rd and long coming up here. Tennessee with one of the better offensive lines to block for Dylan Sampson, who is 9th in the country in rushing, closing in on 1,000 yards on the season. We mentioned the 19 touchdowns. That's number 2 in the country. Ashton Jeanty of Boise State is the only one with more. On 3rd and 7, they'll keep it on the ground with Sampson. He'll come up short of the line to gain by a couple of yards.
By that play call, it tells me this was 4-down territory. I expect the kicking woes that they've had from the kicker Max Gilbert, and Josh Heupel wastes no time. Set up that call for this 4th down. They're definitely going for it.
Yeah, the kicker Gilbert you mentioned, he is 1 for his last 6. 0 for 3 against Kentucky last week. This would be about a 49-yarder. He made some of these as we were down on the field in warm-ups, but going for it on 4th and 3.
Not be surprised if they keep it on the ground with Sampson here.
Instead, Nico to the air with time, but wait. The whistle blew. Maybe the timeout.
Snap. Timeout. Tennessee, there first.
We'll see if Josh Heupel changes his mind. Back in a moment.
Welcome to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ESPN.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
ESPN College Football Primetime presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. The 100th homecoming game at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Tennessee going for it, 4th and 3. They're 8 of 11 on the season on 4th down. Mississippi State crowding the line of scrimmage, and Nico keeps it, drives the legs forward, and able to push the pile down to the 27-yard line for a 1st down. Great effort running the ball by the 6'6", 215-pound redshirt freshman. There is a penalty marker down, though. Hold everything. Flag is thrown near the pile where Nico was, along with about 7 Bulldog defenders.
Assisting the runner, offense number 53 was pulling the runner forward. 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
You can push, but you can't pull. You can't get on the other side and pull your teammate.
That's exactly right, Dave. And Lance Hurd, the left tackle, he's going to be out in front. Stone Blanton and Nico Stone right there to stop it right here. You see here, he hugs his quarterback, and he starts just pulling him back. Obviously, everyone pushing from the other side is fine, but Lance Hurd grabbing him and pulling him forward draws the flag.
And so now Tennessee, after that penalty, they're going to spot the ball at the 32. So still 4th down, and Tennessee may go for it again here. The official still hasn't placed the ball down, though, waiting for referee Wayne Winkler to give us a little bit more info. I think at this point everybody's confused. Josh Heupel not sure exactly what's going on. His good friend Jeff Levy on the other side. They work together at UCF. Heupel the head coach, Levy the offensive coordinator. I think he's unsure. Let's go ahead and bring in our rules expert, Matt Austin. Matt, what's going on here?
Well, I wish I was on the field. I could tell you. I'm not 100% sure, unless they don't know where to enforce it from. They spotted the foul or a previous spot enforcement, which I believe it is a previous spot enforcement.
Okay, so previous spot enforcement. Shouldn't that push the ball back, though, past the 32, closer to the 40?
Yes, I'm going to verify that, because like I said, this is a very unusual call. You rarely ever see it, especially when there's other players pushing the pile.
Did they get the call right in your opinion, Matt?
Yeah, he was assisting the runner. There was no doubt. But again, when there's a lot of help coming from behind, I would have preferred they not called it. But technically, it's a correct call.
Okay. Well, Matt, now they're moving the ball back another 2 yards. So, and there still has not been an announcement, which would certainly be helpful by the referee, Wayne Winkler. We don't know what Josh Heupel's being told, but obviously the offense staying on the field. They're going for it on 4th down and 6. Again, not a lot of confidence in their kicker. And Nico throwing it deep. Got a receiver wide open. And touchdown. Squirrel White pulls it in. First touchdown of the season for Squirrel White. Comes after some confusion, and 4th down and 6. But Nico Iamaleava with his 10th touchdown pass at the extra point makes it 7-0.
Well, Squirrel White's been waiting on a touchdown pass, his first of the season, and he's got some of the best speed anywhere in the SEC. Isaac Smith just not ready in the slot. Safety's going to cheat over. Middle of the field's going to be wide open. And we talked about Nico really working on putting plenty of air underneath his deep football. Eyes work to the left, back to the right. Plenty of air for Squirrel White to get underneath that ball. An absolute dime. And the early scoring woes to the wayside here tonight in Neyland.
Yeah, you touched on it. Against Florida, they didn't score in the first half. They came back to win that game in overtime. Against Alabama, they were down 7-0 in the second half, came back to win. Against Kentucky, trailed 10-7 at halftime, won that game. And now Squirrel White getting behind Isaac Smith for the touchdown catch. Right now, 2 teams left with 1 loss overall records in the SEC. Texas and Tennessee. Ole Miss beating Georgia. So both those teams have 2 losses. A&M 1 loss in conference play, but 2 losses overall. LSU 2 losses overall, 1 in conference play. The Tigers obviously taking on Bama tonight on ABC as we check in with Taylor.
What an atmosphere we have here. For context, this week, Jeff Lebby was watching film with his freshman quarterback, and the film was shaking, and he looked at him and said, "Do you know why it's shaking? Because the atmosphere is that rowdy." Now, Van Buren has made starts at both Texas and Georgia, but there were communication issues both times, and so the focus for him this week was pre-snap communication. He said he needs his quarterback to get information out in a clear and concise manner. But guys, I was watching him on the sideline here, already trying to figure some things out with Jeff Lebby and his tight end. So we'll see how it plays out here.
Again, he's had success on the road already. You just saw that. Most touchdowns in the SEC passing in October. And here on 1st down, that is deflected as Christian Harrison, safety, got in the backfield and got a hand up.
And Christian Harrison off the edge. They bring him on a blitz. Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator, he is not afraid to dial it up, trying to move the pocket, move the launch angle for Van Buren. Good job by Harrison getting his hands up.
Play action, Van Buren from the pocket. And that pass is low and incomplete. Trying to hit Daniels. Michael Van Buren Jr., number 58 in the ESPN 300. He was offered by his current head coach, Jeff Lebby, when Lebby was at Oklahoma. Van Buren committed to Oregon ultimately, but then changed his mind when Lebby got the Mississippi State job.
Place is rocking.
They're going to review that last play to see if the ball was caught by Daniels. It was ruled an incompletion. Back to Neyland Stadium in a moment.
ESPN College Football Prime Time is presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. 19 hotel brands, 1 loyalty program. Download the app. And in part by Mercedes-Benz.
Homecoming weekend in Knoxville. Tennessee has won 18 of its last 19 at home under Josh Heupel, who is flip this program around. They're ranked 7th in the country, 7-1. They just ruled that last pass was incomplete on the field. Replay upheld that, so it's 3rd down and 10 now for Mississippi State.
Kevin Coleman, the go-to target for Mississippi State in these type of situations. He can win one-on-one. We'll see if they look his way on a big 3rd down.
They've thrown it on every play so far.
Well, you better have a plan for 27 James Pierce, one of the most fierce pass rushers in all of college football, coming off the edge.
A sack in each of his last 5 games. Van Buren throws, and it is caught for a 1st down. There's Kevin Coleman Jr., 2nd in the SEC in catches. That's his 58.
What's a nice job working back to the football. It's good tight coverage, but a nice competitive catch by Coleman.
And boy, did Mississippi State need that. Just a 1st down, settle down their quarterback. And the first run play of the day, it's Daniels, not much, maybe 1. Tennessee excellent defensively, 6th in the country in rush defense, 2nd in yards per play given up.
Defensive line, going to see a lot of bodies, 12 deep along this front. They get after opposing offensive lines.
Daniels on 2nd and 9 with some room, and knocked down at the 43-yard line by Andre Turrentine, Ohio State transfer. 3rd and short coming up. Tennessee, the best 3rd down defense in college football.
I think they'll keep it on the ground here with Johnny Daniels. Maybe RPO. They love to utilize Van Buren. Give him that option. That backside defender closes. Use his athleticism to get to the perimeter.
Van Buren in trouble, flushed out, backing up, and then just throws it out of bounds. Pressure that time from Joshua Josephs, who turned the Kentucky game around last week with a strip sack. Tennessee went on to win, and it'll be a punt.
Well, this is actually a good pocket. They picked it up well. He's got time. He doesn't have to roll to his left and move outside. I think that clock in his head just went off. Forces the errant throw, and I think the right move by Jeff Lebby here. The ball around midfield to punt it.
He looks rattled despite having played in Austin and in Athens. Some high passes, has left the pocket early a couple times as well. Barmira's last kick was 25 yards. This one much better. Fielded inside the 10-yard line by Carter. And Carter with a great return past the 30 and all the way to the 37 for the true freshman. 49-yard punt, 29-yard run back.
Boy, Boo Carter has got a bright future. Such a dynamic athlete. You see him play that star position on defense, and a very talented runner. Well set up, good blocking down the field. An outstanding return for the freshman.
Well, instead of Tennessee being backed up inside its 10, it'll have 1st down on its 35-yard line. The Vols seeking their 8th win of the season. The last time they had 8 wins 3 consecutive years was 20 years ago. Sampson on 1st down. Good run. Out to the 40 for 5 yards. Tackled by Joseph Head Jr. We touched on the comebacks. The first half has been a struggle offensively the last few games, as we touched on, but already 7 points tonight. Sampson again, straight ahead, 1st down and more. Sampson all the way to midfield for 10 more yards on the ground.
He just hits it downhill so well. Not much running room, but he is so tough to tackle. Forces as many missed tackles as just about anybody in the country. Nice run.
Pressure off the edge, it's picked up. Nico in trouble, leaving the pocket, taking off, and able to hunt the sideline and get another 1st down all the way to the 37, 13-yard run.
Well, you cannot lose contain with Nico Iamaleava. He's too good of an athlete. The defensive end gets caught inside. Nico sees he can get to the edge, and he takes advantage.
Now a pass play. Squirrel White, who had the touchdown catch earlier inside the 30. And a gain of about 8 against one of the country's worst defenses this year. Mississippi State 127th in total defense. Another pass play to the sideline, this time McCoy, and wrapped up at the 25, but it's another Tennessee first down.
And this Mississippi State defense, I mean, they have struggled against the run, against the pass, out of their gaps, and they're on their heels right now with this offense going super fast. Nice job utilizing the entire width of the field these last two plays into the perimeter. And Mississippi State will get a line change. You could tell that front was huffing and puffing.
A lot of people wondered, with Tennessee having to go to Athens next week, could this be a trap game? The Vols certainly look ready to play tonight. Sampson, big hole again. It closes at about the 18-yard line. Well, you see the extra effort by Dylan Sampson. He credits that to 12 pounds of weight he put on in the offseason. You touched on hitting the hole quickly and that home run speed. And the missed tackles he forces, a lot of that is because of that increased strength. Here he is again, waiting for a hole to open. And he falls forward, but will come up just short.
He really is a total package, Dave, to your point. I mean, he's added the size. He knew he was going to be more of an every down back, and throughout the duration of this season, he was going to need that weight, and he put on good lean weight. He's got the home run speed. I love his vision, and he's just tough to contact. He does a really good job of never allowing to get squared up, and we've seen so many times this year the power he has to not go down and push piles. I mean, he's been outstanding for this offense all year.
He's already got 8 carries for 48 yards. Javonte Spraggins, the right guard, is the injured volunteer. That offensive line has been so good, led by Cooper Mays, their Remington Trophy candidate at center.
Javonte Spraggins, I mean, he is a veteran, 46th start of his career here tonight. They've had really good continuity along that offensive line, who's back in the hunt for the Joe Moore Award, country's best offensive line every year, semifinalist the last couple of years, and make the early season honor roll with what they've been able to do mainly on the ground with this rushing attack.
Meanwhile, on the other side, it feels like a must stop for Mississippi State. I know it might sound crazy midway through the first quarter, but already down 7-0, gave up a touchdown on 4th down on the first drive. And Sampson tripped up, but able to get the first down to the 12. Good job again getting movement by that offensive line.
And the tight end, such a key piece of this year's iteration of the offense. He had multiple tight end sets. The tight ends in the backfield that time, paving the way for Sampson.
And now Nico throwing into the end zone, incomplete. Some contact down there, as Brazel was the intended receiver. Bryce Pollock in coverage. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, Pollock's got the right arm working on Brazel. Never lets loose. That's a lot of contact. Surprised that didn't draw a flag, Dave.
I'm with you. Fans just saw the replay too here at Neyland. See the numbers for Iamaleava. His 6th SEC start, 3-time freshman of the week. That ties the school record at Tennessee. And the ball is out as Sampson got hit and fumbled it. This would be his 3rd straight game with a lost fumble. It's recovered by Hunter Washington. He chopped it out as well.
Boy, Mississippi State needed a play, and Hunter Washington comes up huge from his strong safety position. Comes downhill, squares up Dylan Sampson, knocks this ball out, and then rakes it in for a huge takeaway for Mississippi State.
And Dusty, you saw
right on the football, Dave. That's as well as you can do it.
the reaction of Dylan Sampson. He was so mad at himself because this is what the coaching staff has harped on with him. 3 straight games now with a lost fumble. And Tennessee misses out on an opportunity to add to its lead. Mississippi State will start this drive on its 8. True freshman quarterback going back to work, Van Buren. And he throws high, but the catch is made by Traore at about the 12.
But Traore, the former wide receiver, really coming into his own at tight end. See the catch radius there. Nice job going up and getting that football. Like to see them try to get the ball to Devon Booth.
Booth hasn't touched it yet. Quick throw, and it is picked off at the 15-yard line. Intercepted by Boo Carter. Mississippi State gives it right back to the Volunteers.
Well, this is a matchup that Coach Jeff Lebby thought they could take advantage of. True freshman Boo Carter. They're going to get Kevin Coleman lined up on him as much man as Tennessee runs. And this pass just gets away from Michael Van Buren. Boo Carter going to undercut this route. Pass too far out in front. And the true freshman with a second impact play here in this first quarter. And Dylan Sampson says, thank you very much, defense.
But Peyton Lewis getting this series at tailback, true freshman, with 8 carries against Kentucky. And he'll get the carry on first down. Wrestled to the ground after a gain of 2 at the 6-yard line by Isaac Smith.
They like Peyton Lewis. First touchdown of his career a week ago. Good size for the true freshman at 6'1", 210.
Lewis again. And push back at about the 3. So a gain of 3 on the play. Corey Clark leading the charge defensively for Mississippi State.
Tight ends were such a key piece of this offense a week ago. Both lined up in the backfield.
Here's Lewis again, and he comes up short, down to the 1. Would imagine they'd go for it here. They did earlier on 4th down and 6.
I concur with that assessment, Dave Pasch. I think there was no question about it. The line chase in. Big defensive tackle Jackson Moy coming into the ball game. They do on some of their short yardage goal line package.
They've run it the first 3 plays. You expect another run.
I do. Think they keep it on the ground.
See those 2 big guys in front of Lewis on 4th down. It is Lewis getting the call, and second effort. No, he stopped short of the goal line. 3 turnovers in 3 minutes inside the 10. Lost fumble by Tennessee. Interception by Mississippi State. Now a turnover on downs by the Vols.
What a massive stop for Coleman Hutzler, defensive coordinator, and his defense. Corey Ellington, the free safety, comes down on the edge and does not allow the freshman in. Good job on the interior of this defensive line, getting good pad leverage, getting good knockback. Nowhere for Peyton Lewis to go. You see Ellington work right here off the side, works inside the block of the tight end, Kitzelman, and makes that play. Jeff Lebby likes it on the Mississippi State sidelines.
They're backed up, though, at the 1. Van Buren's last pass was a pick.
Got to calm him down, Dave. He is rattled.
Well, the play clock's at 1. They got to snap it. And they blow it dead. Even if it's a delay of game, you move it back about a foot.
Delay of game offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
You mentioned he's rattled.
Yes.
How do you calm his nerves when he's been, again, in these situations already as a freshman?
Well, he hadn't been in this situation. He hadn't been in this crowd, watching this defense all week. You can just tell he's just not comfortable whatsoever so far. They just got to give themselves some breathing room, hand the football off.
Got to get out of the end zone, and Booth does, but only a 1-yard gain. Bryson Eason and Omari Thomas in there for Tennessee. Van Buren changing the play. Coach to quarterback communication shuts off at 15 on the play clock. Booth again up the middle with room past the 15. And out across the 20. Will Brooks on the stop at a gain of 19 for Devon Booth.
Well, it's a nice job by the tight end, Justin Ball, inserting, getting a key block to open that hole. Excellent run from inside the 5.
Play fake, Van Buren moving to his left and almost threw another interception. There's a penalty marker down. Jalen McMurray stepped in front of the receiver and almost picked that off.
Offside. Defense number 20 was lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So that's on Bryson Eason. That's been one of the issues with Tennessee. 118th nationally in penalties, 14th in the SEC. It'll be 1st and 5 now for Mississippi State.
You'll notice with Mississippi State taking a lot of time off the clock. They a lot of times historically Larry Levy operate fast, but different mindset given the defense and the young quarterback.
Van Buren to throw. Pass sideline, and it's caught at the 45 by Kevin Coleman. And a gain of 19. Let's check in with Taylor.
The message here on the sideline is better effort Tennessee wants from their defensive line. D-line coach Rodney Gardner really upset with some of the guys on his D-line saying, finish through the play. We have to keep going. Guys, it's just the first quarter. So let's see if they were able to respond in this drive.
Back to the ground, and both wrapped up and thrown down by T-Lander. Negative play, loss of about a yard.
Well, T-Lander has really stepped up since they lost Keenan Peely for the season against Florida. The sophomore stepped in. Nice job getting downhill, creating that negative play.
And this drive started on the 1 when Mississippi State stopped Tennessee on 4th down. Pump fake, Van Buren in trouble, leaving the pocket. Being chased. He's going to tuck it and gets drilled at the 46-yard line by Boo Carter, who had the interception earlier. Just a 1-yard gain.
True freshman on true freshman. Nice job by Boo Carter in pursuit, getting up the field and chopping Van Buren down. This is where this offense does not want to live, in 3rd and super long. Crowd's going to come to life. These pass rushers moving around. This is their speed package. Joshua Joseph's on one side, James Pierce on the other, moving Pierce around. Now he's in the middle.
Van Buren's pass off the mark. Big hit on Booth as the ball was arriving by Arion Carter. And it's 4th down and 10, and Mississippi State will have to punt, but they do flip the field.
Well, it's man-to-man coverage. A good job by Arion Carter. He's going to sift through the trash and work over the top. He's got the running back out of the backfield. Good coverage and a nice hit to get his defense off the field. But to your point, Dave, you got to feel like that's a win if you're Jeff Lebby. After the goal line stand, flipping it to midfield.
Armira with a line drive kick, racing forward to field it at the 20-yard line. And wow, what a hit on Carter by Burnside. It'll be Tennessee ball when we come back to Knoxville. 7-0 Vols. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, and Taylor McGregor in Knoxville. Let's update you on the SEC standings with Texas, Tennessee, A&M, and LSU at 1 loss, with Georgia losing to Ole Miss. And Alabama over on ABC taking on LSU right now.
Figure out your tiebreaker scenarios now. Good possibility it's going to come down to that.
Iamaleava on the rollout, throwing downfield, and it's knocked down by Brumfield, intended for Mike Matthews. We should point out again, too, looking at those standings, that there's only 2 one-loss teams left overall in the conference.
With Brumfield, excellent job running the route for the receiver. It's that left hand in front. Really good on the pass breakup.
Sampson back out there after the fumble, and he only gets 1. He sat the entire first half against Kentucky after He lost a fumble last week, but he's right back out there 2 series later following the turnover. Don't forget a big one coming up on ESPN when we're done with BYU taking on Utah. And then next week, Texas at Arkansas. Texas, like Tennessee, 1 loss overall. Clemson Pitt with Miami's loss. The ACC feels wide open right now.
Squirrel wide up top.
5-man rush. Nico throws high and incomplete. He was trying to hit Squirrel White.
Just a misfire by Nico. Well, comeback route for Squirrel White. Comes out of his break, and this pass just sails wide. That's a big stop for Mississippi State. And they got off to a slow start. Tennessee gets that quick touchdown. They're on their fields. They force a turnover, get the goal line stand, and a quick 3 and out. Coleman Hutzler's got to be fired up about his defense.
Jackson Ross punting from inside his 10. I'll set up the return. Boy, Ross hesitated for a second, gets the kick away. The Gunners were down there just waiting for the ball because the punter hesitated. Coleman with a fair catch, 49-yard punt. Let's go to Matt Barry in the studio. Going to be really interesting, Matt, with both Georgia number 3 and Miami number 4, who the College Football Playoff Committee puts at number 3 next week. And obviously, still a lot to figure out here over the next few hours in college football as to who that might be. .30 seconds left in the opening quarter. Daniels gets the carry off the left edge, and it's a first down. Gain of about 11 before he is stopped. Checking with Taylor.
Well, you guys were asking, how do you get a freshman quarterback to calm down in this situation? What I saw on the sideline was a leader in Kevin Coleman Jr. go and put his arm around the freshman quarterback, talking through some things. Let's see if that does anything on this drive here, guys.
Got the first down, and they will not snap it. The first quarter comes to an end. Well, if you're a Mississippi State fan, could have been a lot worse. If you're a Tennessee fan, could have been a lot better. The 7th-ranked Vols, though, leads 7-0 after 1. Welcome back to Knoxville. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. 7-0 Tennessee as we welcome you back to Veterans Week on ESPN, presented by USAA. 17 plays in the first quarter in Mississippi State territory by Tennessee, with just 7 points to show for it. And Mississippi State running the ball on first down, and only a gain of 1 for Daniels, wrapped up by Christian Charles.
Good by Christian Charles coming up from the safety spot to make that play. Seen some success in this Mississippi rushing attack in that first quarter.
Hit 39 yards on the ground on 7 attempts, but no plays yet in Tennessee territory. Trying to get there. 2nd and 9. Van Buren pressure backside, but the pass away, just not on the same page with Jordan Mosley, who was running down the sideline. And the pass was thrown as if he was supposed to break to the outside.
I mean, there was a little bit of pressure off his backside, but he could have stepped up in the pocket. There's just a timer in his head, and he is sped up here tonight. And watching this front get after quarterbacks and create pressure on quarterbacks, and he's got about a 2-second clock in his head tonight. I'd expect some help up top on James Pierce. Receiver in the slot, running back to that side.
Play clock winding down. Van Buren in trouble, hit, but he keeps the ball and he keeps his balance. Van Buren past midfield and then gets hit as he slides. There's a penalty marker down. Van Buren close to a first down. Flag is in the backfield. And it's on Mississippi State.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
Albert Reese, the right tackle.
Yeah, Albert Reese, he's working on a twist game. You'll see him right here. He's going to get wrapped up with one of these Tennessee defensive linemen. Looked like it was Dominic Bailey. Gets those hands outside the framework and the twist turns and takes him to the ground.
Van Buren steps up, throws deep. It is deflected and incomplete. Intended for Mario Craver, tipped by Arion Carter. And then Charles had a crack at the pick. Fourth down.
By Arion Carter, nice job in coverage. Does a good job sitting, sinking deep. Gets in that throwing lane, gets his left hand up. Well, it looked like Craver had a chance to maybe bring in that pass off the deflection, but he gets hit quickly, and conversation over on the sidelines between Jeff Lebby and his young quarterback.
Armira gets off a decent kick. And here's Carter on the return, made the first man miss, and then driven to the ground at the 27-yard line. And then Burnside doing some talking afterwards. He's got to be careful not to get flagged. We've seen that a lot this year. 48-yard punt, 7-yard return. All right, time now for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
This is Tennessee's 100th homecoming game. I know you're going to get this first try. You won't even need to think about it. Who did they beat in 1916 in the first one? So you're just playing with the crowd. You know the answer, but you want people to think you don't know it.
Of course.
Who doesn't know 1916?
Bill Martin does such a good job with the game notes. I mean, you just got to read them.
Iamaleava taking a deep shot, got a receiver, and it's caught inside the 30. Dante Thornton into the end zone. 73-yard touchdown. They finally connect on the deep ball. Second touchdown pass of the game for Iamaleava. And Thornton, who leads the country in yards per catch with the touchdown. Point after, 14-0.
We talked yesterday with Joey Halzle, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, and he told Nico, just put plenty of air under the ball. It's not going to be any safety help over the top. It's going to be one-on-one. And Dante Thornton has been really good as a deep play wide receiver this year. Watch how much air is underneath the football. Plenty of opportunity for Thornton to adjust, make the catch, and a big touchdown for the Vols.
Best game as a passer, redshirt freshman quarterback Nico Iamaleava off to a great start tonight with 2 touchdown passes. He had only 6 from weeks 2 until tonight. But he spread the ball around beautifully. 14-0 Vols.
He is so talented too, Dave. I mean, the athleticism, the big arm, all on display here tonight. Here's Matt in the studio. The privilege is all mine.
A swing pass and nothing there. Back at the 20-yard line, Coleman is dumped by Ricky Gibson III.
Well, these corners have been really good. That was one of the question marks coming into this year. Inexperience in the secondary. And boy, they have answered the bell. Nice job by Ricky Gibson coming up, making a nice open field tackle.
Tennessee defense gives up just 12 points per game. That's its best mark through 8 games at Tennessee since 1972. I'm just going to run it here. Back to the line of scrimmage as Daniels maybe an additional yard or 2. Here's Taylor.
Michael Van Buren clearly flustered, but Jeff Lebby on the sideline is trying to make a message clear to him. Do your job. Don't make stuff up. Just do your job. Let's go. Sometimes easier said than done, guys.
Especially against this pressure on 3rd down and 8. That was Daniels on the carry on the last down.
Traore, good target. Can work the middle of the field. Maybe create a matchup for him.
4-man rush. Van Buren from the pocket unloads, complete, a first down, and it's Coleman past the 45, a gain of 19.
But nice job on the in cut, the dig. What I really like is the pocket poise of Van Buren, 3rd down and a strike for a big first down.
Maybe that'll get Van Buren going, give the young man some confidence. Booth trying to stretch it, can't turn it back. Wrapped up and thrown down by Carter.
Arion Carter has really taken his game to another level. Been playing brilliant football, had a career-high 10 tackles a week ago against Kentucky. He's physical, he's fast, and in year number 2 with this defense, he is really playing at a high level.
He was hurt for a good part of last year due to a shoulder injury. He's Tennessee's leading tackler this year. Keep it on the ground. Running room for Booth. He stumbled and wasn't able to turn on the jets, but still got 17 yards.
Well, inside, Ethan Miner, the center, does an excellent job on Jackson Moy, helping open that hole. And a really good job by Booth, just hitting it downhill. Booth has been a real bright spot the last several weeks for this Mississippi State offense.
And the offense hasn't been the problem. It's the defense. They actually, in SEC games, they score more than Tennessee. Booth with the hot hand, but there wasn't much there that time. Carter on the stop along with Pierce. Pickup of a couple. And an injured player, it's James Pierce, who was in on that stop. Future first-round pick. You can see either the pain or frustration or both as he's being tended to. And every Volunteer fan holding his or her breath right now. James Pierce Jr. on his feet, looks to be okay after going down on the last play.
Great sign for this Tennessee defense and really for college football fans. If you like defense, there's plenty of dudes here for Tennessee. And let's start with one of their corners. We haven't said his name much, but Jermod McCoy has been excellent. He's a he is a Thorpe Award semifinalist this year, and James Pierce Jr., one of the best get-offs in college football. Might be the best pass rusher you will see coming off the edge. He headlines this defensive line that has been excellent for Tim Banks all season.
Has to sit out one play. Meanwhile, Mississippi State in Tennessee territory for the first time today with a 2nd and 8. And no running room whatsoever for Booth, but he does well to keep his feet moving and get back to the line of scrimmage. Eason hit him first, 3rd and long.
Been an area that this Mississippi State offense has been in too much here throughout the course of the day. Kevin Coleman been the go-to guy on 3rd down for this offense. He had it moved around, lined up in the backfield here, trying to create the matchup that they're looking for.
Stepping up Van Buren, makes a man miss, has a lot of running room, and slides. Where did he begin his slide? It was after he got the first down, but not by much at the 27.
With some really good job by Van Buren. Feeling that edge pressure, stepping up, seeing a hole off the left side. A lot of green grass out in front. Picks up the needed yardage and gets down unscathed. Smart play by the true freshman.
They're going to look at this because as a quarterback, when you slide, it's when you start the slide. They mark him down at the 27. He needed to get to the 28. Boy, and it's where the ball is, not the feet, correct, when you start the slide. Really close. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, as you look at this, you think he got enough to move the chains?
I don't believe so. You guys said the rule right. It's where the ball is when the runner's hips first begin to drop, which I think is right about the 29-yard line.
That would be a yard short, based on what Matt is saying.
After video review, the runner was down with the ball at the 29-yard line. He did not make the line to gain. Fourth down.
Good call by Matt and a good call by the replay crew. We take a look at it clearly. Good shot right there by our guys. That ball right there around the 29 when he initiates the slide. I do wonder sometimes with those quarterbacks, you've got to be sure to clear that line to gain or go forward. If you jump forward, it's a completely different situation.
Dealing with a true freshman, making his 6th consecutive start, and now it's 4th and 1.
I like to run the football inside zone in these situations.
Booth got the first down and more. Down to the 22, tackled by Brooks.
A nice job inside. Ethan Miner, the center, helps secure that 75 to left guard. Jacoby Jackson, really well done on the interior of that offensive line, opening up that hole for a much-needed first down.
And look at that, Dusty. 5.5 yards a carry. The ground game is working. Van Buren off play action and hits his tight end Ball, but he's tackled immediately at the 18 by Gibson. Gain of about 4.
A throwback to the tight end. Also had Booth over there. Boot out, get that defense to try to work the other way and throw back across. Let's pick up on first down.
Play 11 of the drive. Taken over 5 minutes. Inside run. Booth gobbled up by Norman Lott after a run of about 3 to the 15.
Third down, I think you're already thinking about, you had 2 downs to get this, Dave. Because I think you know if you're Jeff Lebby, field goals aren't getting it done here tonight.
Pass play. Van Buren setting up on the run, being chased. Elects to run it and gets the first down. That little hesitation froze the defender. And it's a gain of 7. It'll be 1st and goal.
And that defender you're talking about was Jalen Smith. Great call by you, because as Van Buren rolls to his right, and he hasn't decided yet, he hesitates, and so does Jalen Smith. He stays right there, hesitates in coverage, stays with the receiver, and allows just enough time for Van Buren to get the yards needed.
Got an injured Tennessee player.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts, is brought to you by Belfour Property Restoration, restoring more than property.
Don't know if I saw Joey Chestnut, the Black Widow, or Kobayashi, but pretty impressive.
Yummy.
Eating contest of the hot dogs there. Tennessee's defense excellent in the red zone. Now it's goal to go for Mississippi State, trying to cut the deficit in half. And down to the 5-yard line is Booth. They've been able to run the ball on Tennessee, just like Kentucky did last week.
Yeah, Kentucky last week is season high against this Tennessee rush defense, 168 yards. And here early, pushing 90 yards after that run. Good success here for Mississippi State, especially after refusing to run it early. They've really found their stride between the tackles.
Yeah, they threw it the first 6 plays. Van Buren throwing it here and just grounds that one as Tennessee was all over it. In the area was Traore, but Turrentine, the safety, read it. 3rd and goal.
That's a smart play for Van Buren. That was well defensed, nowhere to go with the football, live to fight another day. They've had a lot of success in these scenarios the last several weeks with Devon Booth as a receiver out of the backfield. If they think they get man-to-man coverage, don't be surprised if they try to isolate and get their running back open out of the backfield.
Play 15 on this drive. Van Buren flushed out, being chased, tucks it at the 5, goes up high into the air and ruled out of bounds inside the 1-yard line. See if Mississippi State gets on the ball and goes for it. 4th down.
Well, what athleticism by Van Buren as he goes vertical. Are they going to take a look at this, Dave? Does he get that ball over the plane? Tough to tell from there, but this is no doubt about it. You're going for it on 4th and goal. I appreciate the athleticism and the effort from Van Buren going up and trying to reach that ball over.
And I think Jeff Lebby going to take this down and call a timeout. If they're not going to review this, he might challenge it. You don't see a lot of coaches' challenges anymore, but let's bring in Matt Austin here on this. Matt, your thoughts?
Well, I don't think the coach would have any luck if he tried to challenge this, because without a shot right down the sideline and the goal line, you can't really tell. The rule is the ball has to go over or inside the pylon. Otherwise, it's where it crossed the sideline. And with the views we have, you just can't tell. So I think it'd be futile for him to try to challenge it.
Totally agree. Good look there, but it's tough to see where's the ball at. Seems like as he gets up and that ball would have gone out of bounds, he did not have it inside the pylon. Tough to tell from there. Yeah, I think Matt's exactly right, and you know they're going for it here, Dave. No doubt.
And what do you expect on 4th down here?
In these scenarios, man, they have really leaned on trying to run the football. Got Devon Booth back there. Inside run.
That's what it is, and Booth is in for a huge Mississippi State touchdown on 4th and goal. 2 4th down conversions on that drive. And the Bulldogs are back in it. That drive took almost 8 minutes off the clock. They definitely found something on the ground, trying to shorten the game, going slower as you talked about, something Jeff Lebby doesn't want to do but knows he has to help his defense. Ferry on for the extra point, and it's 14-7.
Well, what a drive here, capped off by this run, and several of the runs, it's been the center, Ethan Miner. No different here. Watch him right here. He's going to block back, and a really good job. And the double team here pays dividends. Really good interior blocking. Watch this hole open right up. And that's all Booth needs to get low, a little leg drive, a little push, and a big Mississippi State touchdown.
All right, let's go ahead and answer our Aflac trivia question from earlier, this being Tennessee's 100th homecoming game.
Aflac.
Let's go way back to 1916. Who did Tennessee beat back then? I know you have the answer just on the tip of your tongue. You're just waiting.
In-state rival, maybe? Let's go with the Commodores. The Doors having a great year. Vanderbilt.
10-6 was the score of that game. They did not have the helmet to quarterback communication back then. They didn't have helmets back then.
Working on the just communication part, let alone the helmet communication part.
They didn't have anything back then. On the return, past the 20-yard line and out across the 25 and to the 30-yard line is William Wright. Let's go to Matt in the studio. Hey, Matt, you're not kidding, though. The Big 12 right now?
Wide open.
Let's see what happens with BYU later tonight against Utah, of course, as Dylan Sampson gets the carry but doesn't get much. With Miami losing, the ACC seems wide open. BYU in the driver's seat, of course, in the Big 12, ranked 9th. But a rivalry game on the road tonight when we're done here on ESPN. Nico throwing and has a completion for a first down to Brazel at the 42 for 11.
I love the route run on the outside by Brazel. Comeback route creates a lot of separation with the corner. Easy pitch and catch from Nico to Chris Brazel.
Iamaleava pulling it back, throwing to the sideline. The catch is made again by Brazel. The two-lane transfer. Picks up 5.
That's good to see. You know, he's a vertical threat. He's got great size. He's 6'5", 200. Been a little inconsistent here this year, but back-to-back really good routes and strong hands for a couple of completions.
Sampson running it, trying to find a hole. It's not there. Bottled up. After a 1-yard run, this is a critical third down for the road team. With this defense really struggling this season. Now they got Tennessee in 3rd and 3, a chance to get a stop, maybe get the ball back.
Not heard much from Miles Kitselman, the tight end. Been used primarily as a blocker. Both him and Holden Stays. 9 catches between the two of them last week. Get involved here.
Nico will throw it. Pressure on. Pass across the middle. Caught for a first down by Thornton. What a gorgeous throw that time by the quarterback, Iamaleava.
Was an excellent route by Dante Thornton, working in on the dig. Protection was there. Nico calm. Fires a strike for a first down.
And again, Nico had a defender right in his face. Looked like he dropped the arm angle. Sampson trying to get the edge. Run out of play by Jones inside the 30. But you touched on this at the top of the telecast. Nico coming off his best game, and boy, he just looks more and more comfortable the more he plays as a passer. Sampson, nothing there. Maybe 2. Wrapped up by Keys. 3rd down.
Nice job stringing that out by the Mississippi State defense. Looks like we have Stone Blanton on the ground.
He's the SEC's leading tackler. Starting middle linebacker. We talked about that coach to player communication. He has the green dot, meaning he is the player that defensive coordinator Coleman Hutzler communicates with. So 3:13 to go and 3rd down coming up. Kick off your week 10 of the NFL season with a countdown crew. Hannah Storm sitting down with Russell Wilson, plus a special Veterans Day version of You Got Mossed. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. And then Monday Night Football, Dolphins-Rams in Los Angeles at SoFi. The Rams are at 500. That NFC West looks up for grabs right now. Everybody, all 4 teams hovering around the 500 mark.
I love that You Got Moss segment. So is my kid.
Now, Tua Tagovailoa is back, been back for a couple games, returned against Arizona at the end of October. Look at his career record against Super Bowl winning head coaches. 13-3.
It's not bad.
Going against Sean McVay this week.
Great to see him just back healthy, able to play.
Indeed. Multiple concussions, but back for the Dolphins under center. So Blanton on the sideline for 3rd down and 3 for Tennessee on the Mississippi State 27. And Nico going to keep it, and he's grounded by Suleiman Paca at the line of scrimmage. Bring it up 4th down. What will Josh Heupel do here?
Well, Paca does an excellent job just getting up the field. This is man-to-man, and they're right there with Squirrel White. So you see Nico make the quick decision not to throw it, try to run it, but Paca there to get the stop. And this is the go zone. We talked about the struggles of the kicker. Going to roll the dice here on 4th down.
It's a movement by the right tackle. John Campbell is pointing, saying that he was drawn off by a defender. And now the officials are discussing.
Offside. Defense number 40 jumped in the neutral zone and caused an offensive play to react. 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
Nick Mitchell in the neutral zone. So free 5 yards and a first down for Tennessee.
Got to be smart in that if you're a defensive lineman, or if you do get across, get back as quickly as possible. It's a heads-up play by a 7th-year player, John Campbell, identifying the defender in the neutral zone and responding, reacting to draw the flag.
Been in that situation a time or two in year 7.
Yes, he has.
And that takes us to the 2-minute timeout. And Matty, Tennessee's ranked 7th, a chance for them to move up when the college football playoff rankings come out on Tuesday night, exclusively on ESPN. That's if the Vols win this game, and they're up 14-7 with a first down at the Bulldog 22. Run play, Sampson got the edge, but a nice ankle tackle at the 16 by Corey Ellington.
A touchdown saving ankle tackle by Ellington. Sampson finally gets to the perimeter, gets to that edge. And if Ellington doesn't get him to the ground, there was nothing but an end zone out in front.
So timeout by Mississippi State, and now a quick word from Verbo.
Defenses so far have been stingy, and that really showed in the...
Look, if you want a house without a host, you should have booked a Verbo. Like I was saying, both teams have really good defenses, and it really showed in the second half.
We're really seeing that personality come out now in College Game Day. I mean, you've seen it in the commercials in the past, but now that he's on the air for 3 hours straight, it's great.
He's fantastic. That whole crew have done an awesome job all year. But yes, Coach Saban has been an unbelievable addition. Loosened up, having some fun, and educating everybody on some football.
He was just like that in our coaches meetings over the years at Alabama. Exactly the same. 2nd and 4. Sampson again. And knifing in to make the tackle at the 13-yard line is J.P. Purvis. Another timeout. Bring up 3rd down. What a slate on Tuesday night, starting with the State Farm Champions Classic. Kansas, the #1 team in college basketball, beat North Carolina last night. Takes on Michigan State. Then Reese and the gang with the exclusive reveal of the next college football top 25 rankings. Then Cooper Flagg and Duke ranked 7th early on, taking on Kentucky.
Have you watched Cooper Flagg yet?
I have.
Is he as advertised?
Oh, he's going to be spectacular.
Okay. Take your word for it.
Watch Kansas as well. They've got Hunter Dickinson. I think he's been in college as long as John Campbell, who threw that big offside. The right tackle, 7th year for Tennessee. 3rd and 1 here for Josh Heupel and company.
Got the 2 tight ends in. They love to run it right at the middle.
And Sampson pushed back right at the line to gain. Ellington in there first, and one official is motioning that it's a first down.
When you see the 2 tight ends in the backfield, it's typically hitting somewhere in between the guards. A nice job by Sampson, just getting enough to move the chains. See how Tennessee operates here with 1:40 left on the clock.
Sampson, pocket drags him down in the backfield for a loss of 1. A defensive line for Mississippi State playing much better as we've got an injured volunteer. That's Dylan Sampson. Oh, man. Sampson dragged down by Suleiman Paka, the junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Heisman Trophy candidate's already set the school record for rushing touchdowns with 4 games left. He's at 19 on the season. and immediately grabbed that left ankle.
And Deshaun Bishop's already out. And obviously we've chronicled a lot tonight. The impact Dylan Sampson has on this offense, on this football team. Peyton Lewis, the true freshman, will be that next man up. And well, you can hear a pin drop in the stadium right now with Dylan Sampson on the ground.
All right, let's take a look here.
Tough to tell from that angle.
See Isaac Smith coming in here too, hitting him high as Paca drags him down.
Paca gets back hip, that pulling guard.
Well, the good news is he's up and he is walking off the field. Sometimes you see those players yanked down and they get their legs pinned underneath them and you think the worst. Mr. Tremendous year for Dylan Sampson, hopefully back on the field shortly for Tennessee. 1 yard loss, 2nd and 11, 1:32 to go. Two timeouts left for the Vols. Mississippi State has used all of its timeouts. True freshman Peyton Lewis and now at running back for Sampson. And it's Nico keeping it inside the 10 and gets driven to the ground at the 6 yard line. 7 yard gain. 3rd down coming up.
Nice job by Kitzelman getting out in front. Going to get a key block to help spring Nico. Good job by the senior tight end. Feels like a big 3rd down here for Mississippi State. Smart by Tennessee. You saw Jeff Lebby calling those timeouts. He wanted to get the ball back and try to allow his offense to go down the field. Now Tennessee slow down mode, going to try to bleed out as much of this clock remaining here in the first half.
Nico on the move, throwing, end zone incomplete. It was intended for Thornton. Hunter Washington in coverage. It's 4th down. The offense staying on the field for now.
He's going to roll the pocket.
And you see the hit there. I don't think there was contact with the head from Isaac Smith. No. May have grazed the helmet, not enough. And do you agree with this move here?
I do.
Going for 3.
I think so. I mean, to go up 2 scores, go into half, 2 scores. Also, I think it's good for your kicker just to have him see it go through the uprights. A very makeable kick here. He's had his struggles. I think it makes sense all the way around.
He was 0 for 3 last week against Kentucky. 24 yard try. And it's good for Max Gilbert. 17-7 Tennessee. Let's take a look at SEC Network slate for next week with Auburn taking on UL Monroe, Missouri at South Carolina. A&M, which is off tonight, takes on New Mexico State. A&M right now tied for 1st in the standings at 1 loss in SEC play with Tennessee, Texas, and LSU. On SEC Network Plus, Murray State, Kentucky, Mercer, Alabama.
You touched on South Carolina there. They got a big win today at Vanderbilt. Think about that football team. After the huge win they had last week against Texas A&M, look at the loss they had against LSU, a game that they outplayed LSU for a large part of that. I thought they outplayed Alabama and Tuscaloosa, lost that by 2. A pretty good football team for Shane Beamer there in South Carolina.
Mississippi State, one last chance before halftime. Tennessee will get the ball to start the 2nd half. Be a touchback and come out to the 25. Dylan Sampson, who was injured on that last possession, walking very slowly back to the Tennessee locker room. Certainly hope he's okay. This first half, Dusty, for Tennessee feels like the first halves of the last 4 games. The difference is they have the lead by 10 because of a couple explosive pass plays.
Yeah, big explosive pass plays that they have not hit on earlier throughout the course of the season. So that's a big check mark. They had the fumble. They're inside the red zone, got stopped on the goal line. So there's a couple things that Josh Heupel had mentioned to us has been problematic in their slow first halves. He'll address that, touch on that, but you know he's got to be ecstatic about the explosive plays in the pass game.
Van Buren to throw. Dumps it off across the middle, but it's dropped by Daniels. And Tennessee ranked number 7 in the initial college football playoff rankings. A couple teams in front of them, Georgia and Miami, losing a chance maybe to move up in those rankings. The committee had them through week 1 as a host team because the first round games will be played on home sites, taking on Indiana, which stayed unbeaten, by the way, beating Michigan. Matt Berry will have that and all the scores coming up at halftime. 4-man rush. Van Buren hitches, now takes off and lobs it downfield, and boy, he had Coleman. Coleman was wide open, but Van Buren couldn't get it to him as he was being chased by Josephs.
He was being drugged from behind by Josephs, had a handful of jersey, and he was pulling back. Unfortunate for Tennessee that Van Buren couldn't step in that pass. He had an open Coleman down the field. And all of a sudden now, you don't get this. Tennessee's got 2 timeouts. They can get the ball and try to score again.
Yeah, a little surprised Mississippi State has elected to throw the ball in distress.
Yeah. Just everything just kind of flipped. Mississippi State was using their timeouts to get the ball back, and all of a sudden could shoot themselves in the foot here.
And in trouble is Daniels in the backfield. And driven out of bounds to stop the clock, so he doesn't even force Tennessee to use a timeout. The Vols are going to get the ball with 29 seconds left and 2 timeouts.
Boy, that was a disastrous possession for Mississippi State, Dave. I mean, excellent job setting that edge on the outside by Tennessee, but man, if you get over the sidelines, if you're Daniels, you got to find a way to get down in bounds and force Tennessee to use one of those timeouts. And Boo Carter's already had 1 good punt return tonight. The chance to have good field position with 2 timeouts in their pocket.
Carter awaits it on the 30, makes the first man miss, and Carter past the 45, past midfield, and to the 46 of Mississippi State with 14 seconds left. A 23-yard return.
Boy, when Boo Carter's got the ball in his hands, get your popcorn ready. Excellent job feeling those bodies around him. Really nice pickup on the return, and all of a sudden now Tennessee, they're in good position here with 16 seconds left.
Tennessee, the first half tonight, much better than we've seen the last 4 games in terms of production, but that's because of the 2 explosive plays. Remember, Max Gilbert has struggled with the kicking, just made a short one, 24 yards, as long in the season as 45. Got to get about 15 more yards here. They do have 2 timeouts. They'll keep it on the ground with Cam Seldon, and he's to the 41. Tennessee fans don't like it, but I mean, that's 5 yards and takes a handful of seconds off the clock.
A little surprise there by the handoff, though. Right.
I want to go back, Dusty, to when Tennessee was on offense last time. Were you surprised that Mississippi State used the timeouts there? Because your offense, I mean, at this point, aren't you happy just to get out of the half down at worst 14, and here you are down 10?
I think Jeff Levy's looking at it. We've got to score points. Like we've got to find a way to score points. He's trying to be aggressive. He's trying to save as much clock as he possibly can to give his offensive ball back. Problem, obviously, when you come out and you go 3 and out real quick, and you don't take much time off the clock, it's a moot point. But I think that's the thought process, and I understand it. Look, he knows his defense has been a problem throughout the course of the year.
Tennessee again gets the ball to start the second half. 12 seconds left, 1 timeout. Clock will stop on first downs as well. 2nd and 5. Nico throwing. It's caught inside the 30, inside the 25, and breaking a tackle is White, and he's out of bounds with 5 seconds left. They still have the timeout, and it would be about a 38-yard field goal try from here.
Boy, a soft zone played by Mississippi State. And a good job by Squirrel White sitting down. See these 3-eye safeties, they're just going to sit back, and it's going to create a lot of space in the inside. Squirrel White sits down that soft spot of the zone. Good connection from Nico and making guys miss and giving your kicker a great opportunity here from 37.
Gilbert just made one from 24. Officially a 38-yard try. And you see Gilbert celebrating. That was like Steph Curry after he releases a shot and turns to the bench to celebrate. He knew it was good as soon as it left his foot. And that takes us to halftime with the Vols up 20-7.
Splits the uprights. And after the struggles the last couple of weeks, that's got to feel great. If you're the kicker for Tennessee, Max Gilbert. A nice way for Tennessee to go into half. We've talked about their struggle scoring. 20 points in the first half. Great job by this offense.
And let's go to Taylor.
Coach, I saw Dylan Sampson limping into the locker room. Without him, how will that impact the way you call the game in the second half?
Everybody's playing well. We're going to need them anyway, so we'll figure out where Sam's at here at halftime, but another 40 minutes of football.
Thank you. Dave?
Well, Josh Heupel got to be happy with the close, getting 2 field goals late to stretch the lead to 13. Time now for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. Matt Berry, Coach Mullen, Joey Galloway.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. From Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Tennessee leading at halftime on homecoming, 20-7. Dave Pasch, Dustin Dvorak, Taylor McGregor. And if you're a Volunteer fan, you're probably saying finally the offense in that first half got going.
Yeah, they did. 285 total yards, and we've seen the ground game going all year. And finally, it's a downfield passing attack. 2 big chunk throws for touchdowns from Nico Iamaleava. And this offense that was just trying to find its way in the first halves was very explosive.
There's Peyton Lewis on the kick return. And boy, punt returns and kick returns have been outstanding for Tennessee tonight. Let's take a look at our playbook brought to you by Modelo.
Let's go back to the first half of this football game. It was a 4th down and one of those explosive plays to Squirrel White in the end zone. Then a fumble from Dylan Sampson, a goal line stand for Mississippi State's defense. But they could not eliminate the explosive plays. A big, big touchdown pass to Dante Thornton. No safety help over the top. And a couple of late field goals, and it's all Vols here coming out of halftime.
Mississippi State was able to run the ball on that Tennessee defense. Speaking of running the ball, here's Cam Seldon. Dylan Sampson got hurt at the end of the first half. Let's check in with Taylor.
We'll know more on Sampson in just a little bit. But as for Mississippi State, Jeff Levy telling me they have to be able to make the layup. Sure, they found success on the ground, and they want to continue that. But he said if we're going to climb back into this game, we have to be able to pick up some big yards through the air. So the message to his quarterback is don't try to do too much. He felt like he was pressing at times. Just go out there and do your job. We'll see how it plays out, Dave.
Well, his quarterback right now is Gaston Moore, not Nico Iamaleava. Gaston Moore, who played against Alabama, was at UCF with Josh Heupel back in 2020, transferred to Tennessee, was 3rd string the last 2 years. I'm not sure if something's going on here with Nika from an injury standpoint, but you got the backup quarterback and the backup running back in the game right now. 3rd down and 6, and a pass play for Moore. Everybody covered. Moore taking off, being chased. And Moore doesn't throw it away. Instead keeps it, goes out of bounds, and it's 4th down, a 3 and out. Let's check in with Taylor for the injury update on the quarterback.
Yeah, as far as Nico Iamaleava, he is out with an upper body injury. And Dylan Sampson is questionable. Tried warming up. He's dealing with a lower body injury. He could still potentially return into this game. So big news, Dave.
It's potentially huge, not just for this game, but beyond. If that's a serious injury, we'll try to go back and look to see where it happened at the end of the first half, but that's the news right out of intermission, that starting quarterback Nico Iamaleava done for the day, and it'll be Gaston Moore from here on out. Jackson Ross to punt. Kevin Coleman is deep. Coleman waiting for it on the 20. Coleman very dangerous with the ball in his hands. But good coverage that time by Tennessee. Just when Nico Iamaleava was getting into a groove after last week, his best game, explosive pass plays in the first half, but now an uncertain future for sure.
And this is a shocking turn of events. You know, as we close that half out, we didn't notice or see anything that might have been ailing or bothering Nico Iamaleava.
receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
We're working to go back and look at the end of the half and see if there's anything there on tape so we can obviously bring that to you. But
how does this impact Mississippi State?
Well, I mean, I think it gives them a jolt of life. I mean, I think if you're over there and obviously probably not sure exactly what's happening, but for Coleman Hutzler, all of a sudden now, I think it allows you to be much more aggressive, really try to slow down this rushing attack. You'd have to think the offense is going to shrink and what they're able to do. And now Jeff Lebby, if they can get a drive here to start this second half, they just have a completely different feel to this football game.
And they came out of the first quarter throwing the ball. Will they run the ball to start the second half? That's where they had success. And they will with Booth. He was waiting for a pulling lineman who never got around, and that's no gain of the play.
It is a luxury if you're Josh Heupel, though, having one of the best defenses in all of college football. They're going to have to hang their hat on that regard here in this second half. Nice way to start with a play dead at the line of scrimmage.
Got a true freshman quarterback from Mississippi State, Michael Van Buren. Just 51 passing yards in the first half from the pocket here. And it's a strike for a first down to Kevin Coleman Jr. He's got a handful of catches on the day. That one goes for 23 yards.
Well, that's the matchup that they told us they liked on Boo Carter. One-on-one, watch the route. Puts his foot in the ground, working across, and the best throw of the day for Michael Van Buren.
Back to the rushing attack. Room for both between the tackles. And into Tennessee territory, a 16-yard run. Upended by Turrentine.
Well, Ethan Miner's having a ball game. Ethan Miner getting leverage, working underneath Amari Thomas, opens the hole, and a chunk run.
Mississippi State going faster now. They did not in the first half. Great cut by Booth. And the transfer from Utah State, close to a first down, but a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage. But the Bulldogs were going awfully slowly in the first half. Wonder if this quarterback situation for Tennessee speeding it up.
Offense number 77, 10-yard penalty, replay first half.
Marlon Martinez, the right guard, called for holding, and it's about a 20-yard flip because they got 10 yards on the ground.
Yeah, and it slows down the momentum this offense had. Watch the left hand of Martinez. He gets outside of the framework of the defensive lineman. And when that defensive lineman tries to come off, that grab happens, the defensive lineman goes to the ground, and it easily draws the flag.
Van Buren off play action, long throw, incomplete. Lebby, who is a disciple, so to speak, of Josh Heupel. The two known each other for 20 years. Their days crossing paths at Oklahoma and then working together at UCF when Josh was the head coach and Jeff the OC. You've known both for 2 decades.
Yes, I have. And these guys know each other so well. You know, Jeff taught Josh a lot of this offense. Josh taught Jeff how to coach quarterbacks. A lot of what you see here tonight, they've worked on together over the last several years.
Daniels might have been a face mask. Daniels big run nonetheless, and the flag does come in. That should tack on 15 yards to that run by Daniels, which went for about 12.
Omar Norman Lott, as he comes off that block, reaches the hand out.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 55. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And on cue, Omar Norman Lott, he's going to work off the block, reach his left hand out. He gets a handful of face masks. Good running from Johnny Daniels. You know, Booth's a little bit bigger, more downhill than Johnny Daniels, a little bit smaller, quicker, a little more explosive. This Mississippi State offense coming out on fire to start this second half.
Van Buren, the ball knocked free. It's loose. No signal yet as to who have it. Jason Jenkins forced the fumble. It's recovered by Tennessee.
We've talked a lot tonight about this defensive line and how they just come at you in waves. So many different guys get involved. And a player that we haven't even called all night, Jason Jenkins.
Dusty, it was interesting. Mississippi State has the ball. They initially said it's Tennessee ball, but Mississippi State came out of there holding the football. So now there's a discussion going on as to who actually had it.
Ruling on the field was a fumble by the offense, recovered by the defense for a first down.
They're saying Tennessee football, and it's an excellent job by Jenkins dipping off the edge, getting the ball loose. Boy, it is impossible to tell exactly what happens.
Yeah, Johnny Daniels tried to come back and jump on the ball. It didn't look like he recovered it, and because you can't really see the ball, it's basically impossible to overturn this with replay.
T. Lander looks like he jumps in right where the ball would be. You see him come in. I think that's T. Lander who gets on top of it.
Levy saying we got it. Matt Austin, how can this possibly be overturned?
Well, I don't see how it can be. I think they got it right. Number 20 for Mississippi State tried to jump on the ball and missed it. And then number 22 for Tennessee appeared to get a hold of it. And I think at that point it should have been over. The ball can change hands several times in those piles, Dusty, as I'm sure you've been involved in.
Yes. And nothing ever.
Down there at the bottom of the pile is not a place for a guy like you, Dave Pasch. I can assure you that.
Sampson is in the game at running back. Moore, the quarterback, throws behind the receiver. White, incomplete. So Gaston Moore again in for the injured Nico Iamaleava. Out for the rest of the game with an upper body injury. Suffered at some point at the end of the first half. Moore is a fifth-year senior, a transfer from UCF where he played for Josh Heupel. He's got 2 touchdown passes, 2 picks on the season, including here against Alabama. Sampson, who was banged up at the end of the first half, but back out there, gets about 4 yards here on second down.
Well, it's just good to see Dylan Sampson back on the football field. He was slow to get off earlier.
Heisman Trophy candidate. Okay, so warning, the next one will be a penalty, but now Sampson over 1,000 yards rushing on the season. At a career high 142 yards on the ground against Kentucky last week. He's had 2 touchdowns or more in every game but one, but has not scored in this game, in part because of the air attack. But now the guy that was throwing the ball in the first half, Nico, with 2 touchdown passes, done for the day. Moore back to throw on third down, looking deep, taking a shot, coming back to try to make the catch, but it's incomplete. Flags come flying in. White downfield, being covered by Corey Ellington.
Pass interference, defense number 10. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And Corey Ellington comes in, and it's clearly pass interference. It's almost as if he panics when the ball's in the air, never locates the football, never turns around, rakes the right arm over Squirrel White. That's an easy call for the official. Going to keep this drive alive for Tennessee.
That'll put the ball in Mississippi State territory. The defense that's been among the worst in college football this year. And when you've got a backup quarterback in there for Tennessee, if you're Mississippi State, the one thing you can't do is cough the ball up in plus territory, but that's what happened on that last drive, and now the ball's on the move. More off play action. Again, taking a deep shot into the end zone, knocked away at the last second. More flags. Lanier broke up the pass intended for Brew McCoy, but flags fly again. The Mississippi State sideline in disbelief.
Defense number 3. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Rylan Lanier not happy whatsoever. But I want you to take a look at his left hand. Watch his left hand rake and work over the top. I mean, he grabbed McCoy by the chest. It was not as blatant and as obvious as the Ellington interference, but I mean, that's interference. You can't armbar the guy and not allow him to try to catch the football. So I get the frustration by Mississippi State, but that's just too much contact down the field right there at the point of the catch.
Sampson on the pitch, breaks a tackle, and stumbles back near the line of scrimmage with Corey Ellington on the stop. Let's take you back to the end of the first half with Nico Iamaleava. Could be the play that he got injured. This is what Taylor McGregor down on the field was told by the training staff, that that's where he suffered an upper body injury and ruled out for the rest of the game. 1 yard loss on the last play, so 2nd down and 11. There was some jawing between two players after that last play, but no flag. Sampson on the carry with room, and down he goes at the 24. Penalty flag down.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Jackson Lampley, 60-year player, called for the hold.
This offensive line's been really good at times this year. Jackson Lampley, and they call working up to the 2nd level. To tell from that angle, but draws the flag and pushes Tennessee back. One thing to take note of, obviously a huge blow not having Nico, but one thing that helps, you know, Gaston Moore is having a guy like Cooper Mays in there. Guy who's played so much football, a center, he can make all the calls at the line of scrimmage.
Moore with a wide receiver screen to Davis, actually a tight end, down to the 30. And that's a gain of 11, so we have not seen that play yet.
Love the play design. Good job by the offensive line, timing it up perfectly, getting that 2nd level. Good after the catch there by Davis.
Gets 11 on 2nd and 20, so now it's 3rd down and 9 for Gaston Moore. But that's a great point on Cooper Mays. You got, in general, a veteran offensive line, but Mays, a 4-year starter. He is the leader of that offense, snapping it to Moore here on 3rd down. And a swing pass, Sampson, and he's dropped for a loss of 3 by Pollock, and that may put Tennessee out of field goal range here.
This is so good by Pollock. Watch him knife through and make this play. Just going to throw the swing outside. He identifies it early. And watch him be aggressive. Come up and make this play for a big tackle for loss. That's an excellent job by Bryce Pollock.
And now you've got Max Gilbert maybe regaining confidence. Was 1 for his last 6 coming into this game, but hit from 24 and from 38. His career long is 45. This is a 51-yard attempt. And Gilbert absolutely smokes that one. Well, the confidence is back for the Tennessee kicker, which could be huge for the rest of the season. Certainly is tonight. Well, the Taco Bell Live Más student section in Knoxville is good as any in all of college football, and all season long student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more.
We've been in some great environments, some great venues. This is at the top of the list for what we've seen this year. It is tough to beat Neyland at night. What a crowd, both by the student section and everybody. Unbelievable atmosphere here in Knoxville.
They've won 9 straight home games as that ball ends up rolling out of bounds, so that will benefit Mississippi State. Good field position. And some jawing afterwards. The officials get in to separate.
You mentioned it a few times. He's getting chippy down there.
Yep. And there is a flag down, but that could just be the flag thrown where the ball went out of bounds on the kick.
Kick out of bounds, kicking team. The receiving team has elected to take the ball at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
It's still just a 2-score game, and again, the big story with Tennessee's quarterback Nico Iamaleava out for the rest of the game with an upper body injury, and Gaston Moore in the game. Can Mississippi State run the football? They turned it over on their last possession. Thielander with the fumble recovery. Tennessee had a fumble of its own inside the Mississippi State 10. Also turned it over at the 1 on downs in the first half. Booth. and thrown down by Will Brooks. A gain of a handful on 1st and 10.
Continue to have success on the ground. Nice cut, good vision there by Devon Booth. Nothing inside. He's able to get to the perimeter, and nice pickup on 1st down.
Keep in mind, going back to the injury for Nico, that Tennessee has to go to Athens next week on ABC in prime time. Also a game at Vandy. Booth breaking free, past midfield, outrunning the defense at the 30, cuts it back, keeps the ball as it's almost stripped by McCoy, but down to the 18 for a huge game.
77, Marlon Martinez, an excellent job getting this block, opening that hole, and Booth once again hitting it downhill with open grass out in front.
119 yards on the ground for Booth. Another touch here, and this time he gets smacked at the line of scrimmage by Jackson Moy. No gain on the play.
That was Moy Excelente by Jackson. Really good job at the point of attack, shedding the block, nowhere to go, and a complete line change in for Tennessee. They continue to shuffle bodies along that defensive line.
Big Elijah Simmons at 6'2", 340 coming out. They have guys just as big and just as good coming in. Low snap. Booth, big haul. It's Johnny Daniels on the carry into the end zone for the touchdown for Mississippi State. 4th touchdown of the year for Daniels, 18 yards. Mississippi State will likely go for 2 to make it a 1-possession game.
Well, once again, Ethan Miner on the inside. Excellent job by the center. And watch the linebacker, 7 Carter, lead the screen. He jumps outside. He vacates. Good block by the center. No linebacker home, and a walk-in touchdown for Johnny Daniels.
Do you like this call?
No, I'm shocked that they're not going for 2 here. Very surprised.
Kyle Ferry on for 1. He makes it, but it's still a 2-possession game. I don't understand that decision there. What do you think would be the reason? Maybe just because he's got a little momentum now, but the run by Daniels and then the extra point makes it a 9-point game, and another penalty flag just came down, so there's a lot of jawing going on. They threw a flag, and I think they just threw another one, so there's 2 flags down.
To answer your question, Dave, I don't know the thought process behind it. Maybe just to say there's 21 minutes left in this ball game. We're not going to chase points, but
you look at the win probability. If you kick, it's actually the win percentage is higher than it is to go for 2. Not
After
sure why.
After the play was over, there were fouls by both teams. Unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team, number 43. Unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 55. Those fouls offset will go to the succeeding kickoff.
It could easily be as simple as they've got a book, they look at analytics, and the book told them, kick the extra point, it gives you a better opportunity. Either way, Mississippi State with a big touchdown.
ESPN College Football, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts, is brought to you by USAA. Let's honor those who served this Veterans Day.
Well, it's certainly an honor for us this week to honor all of America's heroes. Send a heartfelt thank you to all of our active military and veterans for your courage and commitment to our country.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the men and women that fight for our freedom each and every day. It's an honor to live in the greatest country in the world. Would not have this opportunity without those brave men and women.
Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, and Taylor McGregor in Knoxville. This will go through the end zone for a touchback. And as Gaston Moore takes the field, let's check in with Taylor.
Of course, the biggest news we're following right now is the injury to Nico Iamaleava. What I have been told is it is an upper body injury. He is still in the locker room, and there are no plans for him to return to the field at all, to even just be here on the sideline with his team. We do not know the severity of the injury, but I think the fact that he's not even coming back out here on the field might say something, Dave.
At Georgia next week, Taylor, on ABC at night. UTEP at home, then at Vanderbilt. And they got to finish off this one tonight. Gaston Moore with everybody covered on the run. Flag down. Moore throws complete to the 42-yard line to Thornton. There's also a penalty marker thrown downfield on the far side at the 43. You got one in the backfield and one 20 yards downfield. Tennessee is backing up. But again, there's a flag thrown downfield too.
There were fouls by both teams. Holding, offense number 76. Holding, defense number 3. Those fouls offset. Replay first half.
So you got Lanier on defense and Spraggins, who was hurt earlier in the game, on offense.
Holding to start here, 76 inside. He's going to pull around, trying to secure that edge, working on 44, Brandon Jenkins. And then Lanier gets the hold. There's the hold, but he comes in late. This thing is getting really chippy.
Moore's pass through the hands of the intended target, Dante Thornton, who had a 73-yard touchdown catch in the first half. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Second time we've seen Gaston Moore behind a wide receiver. Now, he was at UCF. He knows experience within this offense, with this staff, so this isn't completely foreign to him, but clearly a different level of quarterback in the ballgame right now than Nico Iamaleava.
You also got to wonder about the running game. What about the health of Dylan Sampson? Again, he was hurt at the end of the first half, came back in, but he has 80 yards rushing. Most of those came in the first quarter, about 2/3 of them. Here he is here. Looked pretty healthy there. Past the 30 and close to a first down at the 35-yard line. Brought down by Isaac Smith. Moved the chains for the ball.
Miles Kitselman, watch him lead up on the linebacker coming through. Excellent job opening that hole for Dylan Sampson.
See if they lean on Sampson a little bit more with their backup quarterback on the field. Sampson closing in on 1,100 rushing yards on the season. It'll be Sampson again, straight ahead and up to the 43 for 8 more yards.
He's built for this, Dave. This is what he put on that extra weight for, to be able to shoulder the offense for a football team in the second half. He's been better in the second half than the first half this season. They're going to ride him here this drive.
And another first down for Sampson. 6 more yards to the 49.
This offensive line doing work now, getting good push, getting to that second level, keying in on blocks. Going to help out Gaston Moore. Lean on this offensive line. Lean on one of the best running backs in the entire SEC.
Another Sampson touch. Running downhill. Gain of about 4. So much on the line for Tennessee. In the hunt for its first SEC championship since 1998. The last time they played in an SEC title game was 07. That 98 year, of course, they won the national championship with T. Martin at quarterback. Gaston Moore hits Thornton for a first down inside the 35 of Mississippi State. Tennessee has not played in a college football playoff game. Now with the expansion to 12 teams, you get the automatic bid if you win the SEC, but at-larges can go to everybody. So no limit on the number of teams from a certain conference. And who knows, the winner of the SEC might be a 2-loss team. Tennessee and Texas, as you look at the overall records, are the only teams left with 1 defeat.
Changing their pace now, bleeding this clock. We typically see Tennessee go so fast. They're going to take this down to 1.
And Thornton out of the game, as you saw, with an injury. Here's Sampson on the cutback inside the 20. Sampson busts it loose into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown number 20 on the year for Dylan Sampson. He may not be 100%, toughing it out though, shouldering the burden of the offense with the injury to his quarterback. A spectacular run to extend the Tennessee lead to 15. And 16 with the point after.
Lean on one of the best running backs in college football. 20 rushing touchdowns on the year, and lean on this offensive line. How about the veteran, Cooper Mays? He's going to get out in front, he's going to get a key block to help spring this run by Dylan Sampson. Tennessee back against the wall. No Nico, no problem. Touchdown Vols.
See marching down the field on the strength of Dylan Sampson's legs. And back to a 2-possession game late in the third. Josh Turbeville will boot it deep. To be a touchback. Let's look at our drive recap covered by Geico.
What a key drive and a key response for Tennessee. And it was a lot, as you just referenced, on the legs of Dylan Sampson. How about 5 carries, 61 yards, that key touchdown. That was a nice throw there from Gaston Moore to Dante Thornton. And boy, he's not 100%, but it doesn't matter. Excellent vision, the nice cut, and the breakaway speed into the end zone. The 10th 20-plus yard run of the year for Dylan Sampson.
School record for rushing touchdowns in a season with 20. Most through 8 games in SEC history. 28 is the record for a single year by Derrick Henry the year he won the Heisman. Van Buren to throw on first down over the middle, incomplete. Here's Taylor.
It was Sampson last week who broke Gene McEver's single-season rushing touchdown record. And then the cool part was after the game, Sampson got an email from Gene's son, John, congratulating him on the record, saying how the McEver family is super proud of Sampson. And then also went on to say, thanks for giving our family a shout-out, because in Sampson's post-game interview, he gave a shout-out to the family. I thought that was incredible awareness, and congratulations to Sampson on that record last week.
And Dylan was one that gave us that story. Van Buren, it's juggled but pulled in by true freshman Mario Craver. There is a flag down where the ball was caught at the 40-yard line. Mario Craver, good to have him back. He's healthy, talented true freshman from Birmingham, Alabama. They have some weapons on the perimeter at receiver, along with some good backs. Obviously, Booth is well over 100 yards rushing on the day. They're talking to the Mississippi State coaches. That's why it took so long.
Defense number 3. That penalty is declined. The play results in the first half.
This is a great job by Craver, who I thought was going to be a bigger factor in today's game. Was great. As you referenced, they get him back. Fights through this contact on the outside by McCoy. The concentration to catch that football. You have lights of fire underneath him. He is electric and a game changer with the ball in his hands if they can get him going.
Here's Booth. And he's up to the 42 for about 4 yards, wrapped up by Turrentine. Devon Booth was at Utah State last year, rushed for over 800 yards, transferred to Mississippi State. Problem is they've been behind so much that he has not been able to really get going until this game. But they only lost by 10 at Georgia, by 10 against A&M, and trailed by 8 in the second half at Texas. Booth met and dropped. Maybe a yard. Third down coming up. Charles on the hit.
A lot of motion shifts. Trying to get that Tennessee defense out of whack. You know this crowd's about to come to life. We haven't said his name much, but keep an eye on 27, James Pierce Jr. This crowd can't really change up snap count. You can get a great beat as a pass rusher. He's working up top.
Van Buren in trouble. Tracked down and sacked. Bryson Eason. First sack of the year for Eason.
Well, it's the game inside. Easton's going to work here, the looper here, and he's going to come open right here. Inside twist with the defensive tackles. You just keep working that B gap. Van Buren tries to step up, and he's swallowed by the big defensive tackle.
Short punt again. It takes a huge hop. Carter with a dangerous play. That ball high in the air, elected to field it. It saved them yardage, but very dangerous there to try to field that football. Flag down as well, back at the 45 of Mississippi State.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 12. 10-yard penalty, first down.
All right, let's check him with Matt.
Barry, just be honest. Were you waiting to pop in so you could give a Missouri touchdown? It's kind of what it felt like there, Dave. He's always messing with me.
Oklahoma's had a rough year, but as Matt said, Missouri and boy, about anybody with 2 losses, maybe even 3 losses in conference play, not out of it. Big games down the stretch in the SEC. Peyton Lewis tackled by Blanton after a 3-yard run. 1 minute to go in the third. A breather here for Dylan Sampson, and the true freshman Lewis getting some work in with Gaston Moore, 5th-year senior quarterback, in for the injured Nico Iamaleava.
Just different to see. I mean, it's a huddle. When you ever see Tennessee with a little muddle huddle? I mean, it's just obviously without Nico, change the pace. You've got the lead, shrink the ball game. Smart offense by Josh Heupel.
More to throw off. Play action, has time. Throwing a deep ball again. Incomplete. No flag this time. Brumfield defending White. There were 2 pass interference calls on Mississippi State on a previous drive, but not there.
With big arm here by Gaston Moore, overshoots his intended target. Little tug there by Brumfield. Doesn't draw the flag. Big down here for this Mississippi State defense. They can get a quick 3 and out, get their offense the ball back. Would be huge before this 4th quarter comes around.
You come after him here because you've got the backup quarterback in. You bring some pressure.
Yes, dial up some pressure. If you're Coleman Hutzler, haven't been able to generate a lot on their own.
Going to be a timeout by Tennessee, having to use one here late in the third. Play clock was winding down. Well, coming up next on ESPN, the 102nd meeting between BYU and Utah. Were you surprised when you saw BYU ranked 9th? A lot of people thought that was too low.
I thought they'd be higher, honestly. I mean, you look at the couple of wins that they have. You know, they beat SMU on the road, who came in at number 13. They drugged Kansas State, who was 19, 38-9. They're in Provo. But I got to tell you something. That's going to be a different game tonight. Even though I think BYU should have been higher, I think they're going to have their hands full in a rivalry game tonight at Utah.
With Miami losing today, we're down to 4 unbeatens. Army won on the road at North Texas. Indiana beat Michigan in a tight game. Oregon's playing Maryland right now. 3rd and 7 for Tennessee with 28 seconds to go in the third.
And they get some pressure. They dial it up. 44 is coming. Jennings. Keep an eye on him.
Moore stepping up and lobbing it downfield. Incomplete. Contact and another flag for interference. Holden stays. Being defended
Pass
by Woodard.
interference. Defense number 12. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Taking a look at this. Woodard never gets his head back around.
Easy call for the official, right?
Yeah, he's got to turn around and try to make a play on the football. Got that right arm. He had it on the sleeve, on the shoulder of Stays. A little push there at the end. Penalty has been a problem here tonight for Mississippi State.
That's number 8, and a fresh set of downs for Tennessee now. Here's Lewis. up the middle. And a big hit in the secondary by Hunter Washington. Both guys go down. First down at the 41.
This counter gap scheme, pull backside guard, tight end. Big hole opens up. Hunter Washington still on the ground.
And you saw the reaction for Peyton Lewis. He wants the ball more. He's fired up. He delivered a huge hit on Washington.
Pull Spraggins. Ethan Davis gets out in front. Good powerful run.
See immediately Washington grabbing his helmet. He was on his back and rolled over on his own over to his front. Hopefully okay. As Jeff Lebby, the head coach, comes out to check on Washington, a junior transfer from Florida State. Grew up in Katy, Texas.
Made that big play earlier on Dylan Sampson. Big hit, caused the fumble, got the fumble recovery in the first quarter.
Basically, the entire bench for Mississippi State has now moved onto the field. Again, we're being told that Hunter Washington on his own flipped over onto his front and now getting helped by the training staff back onto his back. And now Washington getting helped up, so
good to see that.
Yep. Sitting up right now. You saw immediately grab his helmet after the hit. And yet Peyton Lewis running full speed right at him. And now Washington is up. And being helped over to the Mississippi State sideline. Has a forced fumble in this game.
Six tackles for the junior transfer, Florida State. Good to see him walk off on his own power. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
Meanwhile, here we got a 1st and 10 for Tennessee on its 41-yard line. They will run the clock on the ready for play. The Vols do not have to snap the ball again. Gaston Moore in the game at quarterback for the injured Nico Iamaleava. Upper body injury at the end of the first half. Will not return to this game. Status unknown for next week at Georgia. Tennessee will go to the 4th quarter with a 16-point lead here in Knoxville. You're watching the SEC on ESPN as we welcome you back to Knoxville. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. This is Veterans Week on ESPN presented by USAA. Tennessee looking to go to 8-1. It would be 8 wins 3 straight years for the first time since they won 8+ games from 95 to 2004. And a run play here to Lewis, which only gets about a yard. Let's check in with Taylor. Another injury.
Yeah, another injury to Tennessee's offense. Leading receiver Dante Thornton Jr. out for the remainder of the game with an upper body injury, Dave.
And that's, again, potentially big for the game against Georgia next week. He's their big play receiver. Had a 73-yard touchdown catch in the first half. On 2nd and 9, here's Lewis. Driven down at the 45-yard line. 3-yard pickup, tackle by Keys. 3rd down coming up.
Boy, big 3rd down, and we've seen the last couple of drives. This drive, the drive before, pass interference. These defensive backs at Mississippi State have got to do a better job getting their head around when the ball is delivered right there at the point of the reception. We'll see on this crucial third down if that's a problem once again.
Backup quarterback Gaston Moore. Pressure coming. Pass away. Caught. First down. Kitzelman, the tight end. First time we've called his name.
This is good quarterbacking by Gaston Moore. Pressure's going to come. And what do you do when pressure comes? Replace that. Nice job by Kitzelman sitting down right there in that open space. A big-time pickup on third down from Gaston Moore.
Kitzelman, a transfer from Alabama, 13th catch on the year. And they go back to a rushing attack as St. Louis bouncing off defenders. Down to the 40. Gain of 7 on first down.
You touched on it earlier. He's feeling it right now. Peyton Lewis saying, feed me. True freshman had his first taste of the end zone last week and really running with some physicality and some purpose here late in this ball game.
25 carries all season, 9 more today, 8 last week. Had none the previous 4 games combined. Lewis squeaking through a hole on 2nd and 3 and looks to have another first down for Tennessee. Josh Heupel thought it was a first down. He's on the field yelling at the official, but they have not changed the sticks, and now they do. First and 10. Year 4 for Heupel. What a job he's done turning this program around. Under Jeremy Pruitt that last year in 2020, they were 3-7. Heupel's 34-13, 11 wins and an Orange Bowl appearance in 2022. Trying to go to 8-1 and 5-1 in conference play.
It's been an incredible job. And when he took this over, credit Danny White, who's hired as the athletic director. This program was in a bad place post Jeremy Pruitt. They bring in Danny White, and Danny White brings in Josh Heupel, and he's just done a masterful job. And we talked to him about that yesterday, and he talked about the consistency of who he is, who his coaching staff is, credited these players, a lot of these veteran players that stuck around, turned into one of the better programs in the SEC.
Pass is caught by McCoy at the 30 and dragged down by Brumfield at the 29. 8 more yards.
He also credited this fan base. Josh Heupel said they would not be here and have redone everything without this fan base. The buy-in from them, all the resources at their disposal, these game day atmospheres. It's been a collection of everybody coming together, and they've gotten Tennessee football back on the top of the college football map.
3rd and 2. On the 30-yard line of Mississippi State. Feels like now or never for the Bulldog defense, but they can't get the stop there. Sampson powers ahead and has a first down.
With 75, Jackson Lampley just getting work done. Watch him stay with this block here all the way through the whistle. Working on Trevion Williams inside, just keeps the legs driving, finishing that block into the ground, and Dylan Sampson fitting in right behind his left guard, moving the chains.
That will allow Tennessee to continue to milk the clock here. Mississippi State needs 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions, but they got to stop the run first. They have not been able to here in the 4th quarter. Sampson running left, gets about 6 yards. Dylan Sampson, junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So far today, 149 rushing yards, a career high, 28 carries as well.
Continuing to feed him the football. Again, just the ability to know in the offseason, I've got to put work in. I've got to change my body because this was coming. Prepared himself, took on the challenge, and man, it's paid dividends.
Play clock winding down, and it's Sampson again, able to get positive yardage down to the 19. So a critical 3rd down. Again, kind of a now or never down for Mississippi State as we approach 9 minutes to go. Blanton shaken up again. We saw him leave the game earlier due to injury, but back out there. Tennessee has struggled in the red zone today. Again, they turned it over on downs. Sampson fumbled it inside the 10, lost fumble in 3 consecutive games for him.
Well, doesn't it feel like you just keep it on the ground here, Dave?
They do with Sampson. He's hit on the backfield for a loss of about 2. So now it's 4th and 5. And you would think a kick here for Tennessee because it makes it a 3-possession game, and that's what Josh Heupel will do.
And with the way Max Gilbert was struck the football here tonight, you know, he told us when he was talking to Max, just be you, find your swing. And at least the first 3 kicks, clearly he's found his swing, and if he can knock this through, makes it a 3-touchdown game.
After going 0 for 3 last week, 3 for 3 today, this will be a 38-yard try. And Gilbert nails another one. 33-14, Tennessee in full control midway through the 4th. Undefeated teams left, with Miami losing earlier today. Just like everybody thought, BYU and Army, 2 of the last 4 standing, right? Going into the year, you had that, I'm sure.
Great story for both those programs. Kalani Sitake has been great. Coach Munkin, wow. And you didn't mention Indiana. Also, one of those remaining.
That's because everybody knew Indiana with Curt Cignetti was going to have that kind of a year. Timeout, 33-14 Mississippi State ball when we come back.
12-team college football playoff begins December 20th on ESPN.
Take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Allstate. So Oregon up big on Maryland. Georgia losing. Miami losing. Texas 3, Penn State 4, Tennessee 5. Is that how you would have it if Tennessee holds on and wins?
That was an impressive win by Texas today. I think they're going to get a big bump. Impressive by Penn State there against Washington. I'll be intrigued to see how much Bama. I mean, Bama keeps, you know, winning in that fashion. They win by north of 3 touchdowns. Be intrigued to see how far they potentially climb up, even with 2 losses. So Tuesday's going to be fun.
Running room for Daniels, but tripped up. That might have been a touchdown if not for Jacoby Thomas, who hurt himself on the tackle. Does Indiana jump one of these teams? Since the Hoosiers are unbeaten, they beat Michigan today. And Thomas holding his midsection after that tackle.
I know, obviously going to be so much intrigue and eyeballs in Athens, Georgia on Tennessee and the Bulldogs, but Indiana plays Ohio State as well coming up, so that's going to be another marquee matchup that's going to play a big factor in some of the shakeup in those top 10 rankings.
How far does Georgia fall with 2 losses now? How far does Miami fall? Because they had been living dangerously. The Hail Mary win against Virginia Tech, the comeback against Louisville.
And then how high does Ole Miss climb?
Yeah.
You know, because they're at 16. I would imagine we see Ole Miss get back into the top 12 of these rankings. There's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of shakeup.
SMU could jump. They're right now at 13, the first team out. They could make a big leap with being in first place now in the ACC.
And we still have it undefeated yet to play coming up here tonight at Utah in Salt Lake City.
And then next week on ABC at noon, Texas, Arkansas could be number 3 at that point. Clemson, Pitt over on ESPN next Saturday. 2nd and 2. Daniels able to get the first down. And if Mississippi State falls, it will be 0-6 in league play. Jeff Lebby obviously has an excellent resume as an offensive coordinator, and you'd have to think in due time is going to get the Bulldogs back to their winning ways. They had 13 consecutive, make that 14 consecutive bowl trips before a 5-7 record last year.
I believe in him, and I was talking with Zach Selling, the athletic director. He fully believes in him as well. I don't know if people fully grasp what they inherited, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So much turnover. I think once you hit the offseason, that's the job number 1, top of the list, is get that personnel right and improve that defense immediately.
Van Buren throwing it deep, and both players hand fighting, incomplete. Akari tied up with McMurray, and it'll be 3rd down and 9. Levy in his first year in Starkville started out as a graduate assistant at Oklahoma, a student assistant rather, in 2003. Josh Heupel, who's on the other sideline tonight, he was a GA back then.
Kevin Coleman, their 3rd down target. See if Van Buren can locate him in one-on-one.
Van Buren in trouble, and sacked back at the 28-yard line by Norman Lott.
Well, the walls were caving in on Michael Van Buren. Couldn't locate anybody open down the field. Twist game inside. Big Norman Lott. He's been so good for them as a 3rd down pass rusher. Now 13 sacks throughout his career. This excellent job from the interior, getting after the quarterback, and a big sack to put this game, which feels like fully out of reach.
Boo Carter tackled immediately after he caught the football by Nick Lauderdale. Tennessee looking to ice this when we come back.
Resorts, 19 hotel brands, 1 loyalty program. Download the app. And in part by Mercedes-Benz. ESPN College Football Prime Time is presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. 19 hotel brands, 1 loyalty program. Download the app. And in part by Mercedes-Benz.
Homecoming 30 years ago, Peyton Manning made his first start. Went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021. Here today, working for ESPN with his brother Eli. And a fumble there by the quarterback, Gaston Moore. He recovered it.
He went to put the ball out. Peyton Lewis was already gone. Ball's on the ground. Heads up play just to get on top of the football by the senior quarterback.
So 2nd down and 9. Gaston Moore, the 5th-year senior from Hilton Head, South Carolina, with Nico Iamaleava, if you're just tuning in, ruled out at the end of the first half due to an upper body injury. Peyton Lewis stuff. So if Nico can't go, we don't know that. This is an if question. Don't get mad, Vols fans, just saying if he can't go next week against Georgia on ABC next Saturday night, with the Bulldogs coming off a game in which they were trounced against Ole Miss. What does that mean for the Vols and for that game?
Well, it's going to be tough. Here's the one thing I'll say. The way this Tennessee team is built, up front, really good offensive line, excellent rushing attack, a fantastic defense. I mean, you still have to give them an opportunity, but clearly this is a different offense without Nico Iamaleava. I hate to even go down that path before we know.
Offside. Defense number 91 jumped in the neutral zone and caused an offensive play to react. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
I'd like to get more information on the injury, which I'm sure we will, you know, in the post game, and they're moving forward. But
well, you know who would like to get more information on the injury? That's the College Football Playoff Selection Committee.
Absolutely, 100%. And obviously, we saw last year with Florida State. And again, we don't know how how long this could potentially last, but the way Tennessee's built. Not saying that they're going to go in Athens and win without Nico.
Flag down here after the catch by Kitzelman. This may come back.
But this football team, they're built the right way. They're built, the defense is built front to back. The offense, it starts with the offensive line and Dylan Sampson. That's still going to be true. That's still going to be strong. So very inopportune not to have Nico.
An eligible downfield player, offense number 66. 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
And for Georgia, that could be an elimination game, not just for the SEC championship. They got 2 losses, both those losses in conference play, the other to Bama, but for the college football playoff, because at this point it seems like a real long shot for a 3-loss SEC team to get in as an at-large.
And there's so many 2-loss teams. And And right along with that, again, I hate to play this projection game and this what-if game, but if Nico wasn't able to play in Athens, which we hope he is, and we have no clue if he will, and then he's healthy and going to be able to rejoin his team, you know, a week later or potentially in the playoff, that has to go into count too when you're looking at that game against Georgia for the committee.
Lewis will not get the first down. A timeout called here by Mississippi State to stop the clock with 4:12 to go. So here's where we are right now. Tennessee, if it holds on, will go to 5-1. LSU, it looks like, will drop to 3-2. So you got A&M, Texas, Tennessee, all with one loss. And Tennessee has Georgia and at Vanderbilt. Those are the two SEC games they have left.
And oh, by the way, how about that Thanksgiving Day weekend game, the return of that rivalry, which very well might be two one-loss teams in Texas A&M and Texas. We don't want to start doing that. Texas got to go to Arkansas next week, and there's more games, but you obviously can see the potential that game has of being a play-in game to the SEC championship. But man, we thought going into the year that this league would be unbelievably competitive, and it has lived up to that and some. The top of the SEC is so deep, and got teams just knocking each other off each and every week.
Fielded at the 25, and Kevin Coleman can do nothing there. All right, so we were talking earlier about the great relationship that Jeff Lebby has with Josh Heupel. Well, the two of them, and the guy on the left, yes, that is Dusty Dvorak back in the day when they were all at Oklahoma.
Yes, we were. I came in 01. Josh Heupel won a national championship in 2000. Jeff Lebby came in 2002. Jeff then became the student assistant. Josh came back and was a GA.
None of you guys look alike, but if you had to pick one that you said, I never would have believed that that's him. I actually, maybe because I've seen all the pictures, I'm going Lebby. Because I've seen the pictures of you back then. I remember when you played and you had the long blonde hair. Lebby, to me, looks the most different 20 years later.
I think we all look very different, but proud of both those guys. They've both overcome adversity and become excellent coaches here in the SEC.
Van Buren dumping it off to Booth. And a flag comes down. And some shoving after the play. We've seen a lot of that here in the second half. While they sort this out, with Miami losing today, and I mentioned just a moment ago that a 3-loss SEC team, awfully hard to get in it as an at-large. Did that percentage go up today because Miami lost? How many ACC teams are going to get in? How many Big 12 teams are going to get in? You still have SMU unbeaten in league play, but they have a loss.
A lot of football left to be played, but especially, I mean, if BYU were to falter, I mean, I think it's trending more and more towards one Big 12, one ACC. It feels like 4 Big 10 schools are in really good position right now. You would kind of expect 4 more from the SEC, and I think Notre Dame's in a good spot as well.
After the play was over, there were fouls by both teams. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 21. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense. Those fouls offset, second down.
They didn't say the player on defense, but it was Devon Booth on offense.
The last few weeks have been very punitive to the Big 12 and the ACC. Last week you had Iowa State lose, you had Kansas State lose. That wasn't good for their cause. Miami going down today, that doesn't help aid the ACC. At the top of the Big 10, those top 4 schools, they're in great position. And we just showed that list of SEC teams. How is 4 not going to get in from the SEC? I mean, I think it's, I wouldn't say it's a lock, but it sure feels pretty close to one.
Van Buren to throw on second down and 8. Stepping up, being chased, and sacked. James Pierce, a loss of 4 on the play. First sack tonight for James Pierce Jr.
We haven't called his name very much, but if you pay attention to college football, if you watch tape, this guy is just tremendous. Going to start over here and work his way around. Just elite with his speed, with his ability to use his hands to dip, got the length, and talk with coaching staff, a student of the game, and one of the best defensive players in all of college football.
Daniels on the catch. Only got 5. It's 4th down at about 7. 3 minutes to go. Tennessee on its way to an 8-1 record, 5-1 in conference play, taking on Georgia next week on ABC in Athens. Saturday Night Football. Home against UTEP. But this is its last SEC home game. Regular season finale at Vanderbilt, which lost today to South Carolina. 4th and 7. True freshman quarterback Michael Van Buren. Incomplete pass. Tennessee will take over on downs. Intended for Kevin Coleman Jr.
Good coverage there by Jacoby Thomas. It's been tough sledding all throughout the course of this ball game. Jumps that route, gets the right hand around, creates the pass breakup, and gets this defense off the field there once again. And by the way, barring something crazy happening, it's going to be 9 straight games. It'll be 10 straight, but 9 this season for this Tennessee defense, holding their opponent under 20 points. Just incredible the run that Tim Banks and this defense has been on since going back to the end of last year in the bowl game against Iowa and the entirety of this season.
Banks, a 2-time Broyles Award nominee, one of the top defensive coordinators in the country. Lewis on the carry, and unless Jeff Lebby stops it with a timeout, this will take us down to the 2-minute official timeout. Showed you Peyton Manning. Now we're finishing with Peyton Lewis, spelled the same. Close this game out here for the Vols.
We saw the sheriff down there on the field before the game. You can see his stuff everywhere. We had our meetings yesterday in the Peyton Manning room.
The amount of resources that Peyton Manning has put into his alma mater, it is tremendous. Well done, Peyton. There in the Big 12 and the college football playoff picture. This is a huge win for Tennessee. Gaston Moore in a quarterback for the injured Nico Iamaleava. He's going to keep it on the ground here with Selden. Short game. So you're saying 4 teams from the Big 10. Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana.
Yes.
College football playoff committee on Tuesday will have how many teams in from the SEC?
In the top 12?
Yes.
They'll probably have 5.
Okay.
Would be my guess. And I think it'll be this order makes the most sense to me. Texas, Tennessee, Bama with that win over LSU tonight, Ole Miss, and then Georgia. And that may be crazy for someone to think that Georgia can go from the top SEC team to the 5th, but I don't know how it doesn't work that way, because Georgia's lost now to Bama, and they just got boat raced today by Ole Miss.
Right, but hard to imagine them dropping from 3 to 13.
Now, I think all 5 of those will be inside the top 12.
Yes, agreed. That's why I was agreeing with you about Georgia. That hard to imagine them being number 3 and dropping 10 spots according to the committee.
And then
with
again,
1 loss.
and then next week, Georgia plays Tennessee in Athens.
Could be an elimination game for Georgia. Could obviously impact Tennessee regardless of the outcome there.
It's going to be wild.
For those that before the year said, oh, the college football playoff expansion to 12 is going to take away from the regular season games, November says, hold my beer.
Oh, my goodness. These games matter more now than ever. Think about in some of these conference races, some of these different games. When you look at the Big 12 and the race for that, even the ACC with Miami losing, potentially opening the door. More games matter now in November than ever in the history of college football, and it's a beautiful thing.
Selden gets down to the 5, so it's 1st and goal. We'll see if Tennessee elects to score, or it looks like it has to run one more play. The play clock and game clock about a ½ second off. We'll see if Josh Heupel wants his quarterback Gaston Moore to just take a knee.
The history between these two coaches.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a knee.
They just take it to a knee.
And there it is. Tennessee improves to 8-1, 5-1 in conference play. 3rd straight season with 8 wins for Tennessee. That's not happened in 20 years. Josh Heupel has this thing going in the right direction. And up next is Georgia in Athens. Saturday Night Football on ABC next week. For Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor, Dave Pasch saying so long from Knoxville.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ESPN.